9 o'clock hour, we're going to get into the Lions draft. People's thoughts on it, the good, the bad, some grades that the national pundits are handing out. I don't think they understand Brad Holmes. He's not drafting from their draft board.
No, he's not. He's not taking a compilation of mock drafts and saying, oh, well, this is who everybody else thinks I should take, so I should take him.
I can't take Tyreek here because Yahoo thinks it's a reach. Yeah, he doesn't do that. So we need to have a conversation in the 9 o'clock hour. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, John. What did you make of his fall? Is there an easy explanation?
Yeah, the explanation is he's just not a top quarterback. And could you make an argument that he's better than Dylan Gabriel? Well, I mean, maybe you can, but that'll be settled in training camp because they're actually both on the same team.
Did the Browns set their board to auto draft? They took 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs. It felt like the guy in your fantasy draft that didn't show up. It just, all right, best available.
But, I mean, when you look at Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Jalen Milroe, even in the late 3rd round, like there is some serious upside to Jalen Milroe. And it's a gamble. I don't think Jalen Milroe hits at the NFL level. I don't think Tyler Shuck does. Honestly, I don't think any of these quarterbacks do. Cam Ward is going to get the longest leash because he was drafted 1-1. And so he'll get as much opportunity as possible, and they'll try and build things around him. But I didn't think there was a first-round quarterback in this draft. I said it last week. I didn't think Shedeur Sanders was going to be a first-round pick. Now, did I think he was going to fall all the way to the 5th round? No, but what you lose when you take a quarterback after the first round is that extra year of control, that 5th-year option. I'm always surprised that there's any quarterback taken in the 2nd round. I know it worked out for Jalen Hurts. I get that. But that's the one-off. It's the exception to the rule. If I'm drafting and there's not a quarterback that I take in the 1st round, I'm probably not even looking until 3rd or 4th round, which is when the rest of them were taken.
With Shedeur, people were frantically trying to figure it out. How could a player with a 1st-round grade by, for the record, no NFL teams, but talking heads in the media, how could a player with this 1st-round grade fall as far as he did? Guys, the obvious answer is he wasn't a 1st-round grade.
Right.
He was a 3-star quarterback coming out of high school. He is not big. He doesn't have a big arm. He's not an elite athlete. You're not getting escapability in the pocket. You're getting a guy, you want to talk about reading defenses, who pats the ball, holds it too long, and takes a lot of sacks. Now, he put up numbers in Daddy's offense, but maybe he's not as good as Daddy thought he was. Well, you get what I'm saying? Like he was maybe overinflated by the media machine, and then watching in real time as Mel Kiper, the face of that media machine, goes through the stages of grief on television, at one point throwing the entire league under the bus because they, quote, don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Mel, let's say Shedeur's not a 1st-round talent because of physical limitations and he's not developmentally there. Now I throw in that he's tanking interviews, he's entitled and has an attitude problem. Now a guy who I think might be a 3rd, I'm going to stay away from, because if you don't have the physical gifts and I don't think you have the between the ears, you're off my board entirely. And I think a lot of teams didn't have him on their board.
Well, and look at what that position means. And because there's always players that are taken higher than the 5th round that don't interview well, that have off-the-field issues, that have a lot of things going on. Now, Shedeur Sanders, again, I didn't think his film or his skill set, I didn't think he was a 1st-round talent. As soon as you get in the 2nd, and I think there are a lot of teams that just refuse to take quarterback in the 2nd round because they want to take somebody who's going to contribute. A 2nd-round quarterback is not going to contribute in year 1 and probably not even in year 2, maybe never. But when you look at Shedeur Sanders and the quarterback position, do you want in your locker room to draft somebody like that? And I'm talking about everything that is Shedeur Sanders. All of the and he may have a flair for the dramatic. He may have, the camera he doesn't seek it out, it seeks him out. All of those different things. But do you want that as your backup quarterback? Do you want that media attention on your backup quarterback? Do you want to have that? I mean, look at throughout the course of the NFL, we have seen guys that we think could be NFL quarterbacks or at least backup quarterbacks. But one of the things that has prevented them from being a backup quarterback is the media attention that they draw. it's one thing to have a backup tackle who, they don't draw a whole lot of media attention.
Mm-hmm.
A backup, wide receivers can because they're a little bit of a diva, defensive tackle. That's the spotlight on a quarterback and that position is so much different.
There is a point you get to day 3 and he's not taken. And I think the Lions had like 5 day 3 picks before they traded up. And I at least paused and thought, would I want the Lions to take him on day 3? And my immediate reaction was no. Because what I don't need is Goff throws a pick in week 2 or 3 or throws 2 or 3 picks. And Dion is starting a campaign on social media to let Shedeur cook. We're trying to win a Super Bowl here. And I think there's a lot of teams that just wanted to avoid the distraction. They thought talent doesn't outweigh distraction. Oh, you don't want to work out at the combine. You don't want to work out for certain teams. You want to sit in a room that proclaims yourself a legend before you've even been drafted. Teams thought, we don't want any part of this. If we don't think you have the right attitude to overcome some of the issues from a talent standpoint, you're not draftable. If he had a good head on his shoulders and was, didn't tank interviews and was a student of the game and seemed like he really wanted to win people over, I think he could have gone on day 2, John. I do. But I think the combination pushed him to day 3.
Yeah, I think it's all a part of it. But again, I go to the media circus surrounding him. And I don't want to get into the politics of any of this, but when Tebow was a quarterback at Denver, and then he was with the Jets, I think people believe that he could be a backup quarterback, maybe not a starter, but it was as soon as he was on your roster, the conversations were always about Tim Tebow, not your starting quarterback, about the offense, not and it wasn't about that position. He just draw too much attention. It's been the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. It's all of the attention that surrounds what he would be in your locker room, not whether or not he could be a 2 or a 3, but it's the distraction that your backup quarterback provides the team.
I thought the way it was covered was borderline appalling because you had people insinuating league-wide conspiracy, hints of race. What race issue? The number 1 pick was a black quarterback. There's no issue with race here. This is attitude. This was entitlement.
I didn't hear much of that.
No, my point, people on the fringe, if you've ever been on the internet, people are trying to figure out why is he falling.
Oh, what's this thing?
What?
Internet?
Yeah.
If you've
But Stephen A. invoked Kaepernick and talked about league-wide conspiracies. It's like, dude, he's just not that good and is entitled. That's the answer. We don't need to spend the entirety of our draft coverage fixating on why the league doesn't like Shedeur.
Yeah, and I wasn't in those interviews. I don't know if he tanked them. The reports are that he did.
Right.
Or at least didn't interview well.
So specifically, Todd McShay has discussed this, and he's still around while he's not at ESPN. He's still doing draft stuff, and he said he had heard it on good authority that Dable and the Giants gave Shedeur a homework assignment. Shedeur showed up, flunked the assignment, got called out, didn't like that he got called out, and it was contentious. Well, that's a team that needs a quarterback. You start doing that to enough teams, there's not enough that need a quarterback anymore. I mean, how many went just a season ago? Those teams aren't going to draft you, plus the teams that already have bona fide starters, plus the teams that don't want you as a troublesome backup. You start shrinking the pool of the teams that'll even take you. When Pittsburgh passes multiple times, when the Raiders are passing you multiple times and you're close with Tom Brady and Tom Brady's in that organization, it tells me something. It tells me you weren't good enough.
Well, I don't think he was good enough to begin with. And that's where, I mean, the decision that he made, because he still had a year of eligibility. Same thing with Quinn Ewers.
Well, that's the conversation no one's having today.
Right. These guys, and I think moving forward, there's going to be a lot of these quarterbacks that need to be a little bit more self-aware of what they're doing. They're able to make big money in college football. Quinn Ewers, it's reported that if he had entered the transfer portal, he might have drawn upwards of $8 million.
What's he going to get this year?
800,000.
800,000.
Yeah, I mean,
it's himself 10 times the money.
It's still a lot of money
but do you realize
playing a game of football, but it's not $8 million.
Do you realize that got no publicity, though? Quinn Ewers was an elite recruit. Again, Shedeur was a 3-star. Quinn Ewers was a 5-star recruit. Played at didn't play at Ohio State, but was at Ohio State, then played at Texas and won playoff games with the Texas Longhorns. Was not drafted until the 7th round. Did anybody lose Their lunch over that on the broadcast. Did anybody go, wow, how can you not draft Quinn Ewers? He's a winner.
Mel Kiper wasn't pounding the table for Quinn Ewers.
No, just Jimmy Clausen. Yeah, we got receipts, Mel. 248-539-9797. Why did Shedeur fall?
You're going way back.
He said he would quit if Jimmy Clausen didn't pan out.
Oh, but he's still doing it, isn't he?
I did appreciate Reese Davis kind of trying to rein in Mel a little bit.
He gave him all the chance in the world to just shut up.
He's like, what are you going to do? We get it. You've been doing this for 3 days now. What are you going to accomplish by scolding the entire NFL, finger wag every single pick? How many times did he invoke other Hall of Fame quarterbacks with Shedeur? Well, Brett Favre wasn't the first quarterback taken in his draft. Tom Brady wasn't the first.
Tom Brady, yeah.
Mel.
He has the chance. He could be any of those guys. It's unlikely that he is, but he could be any of them. We'll see what happens when he hits rookie minicamp, when he hits fall camp. Does he make the team, or is he on the developmental squad? They got 5 of them in one of them is Deshaun Watson, who will start the season on IR.
That quarterback room is perfect for a reality TV show. You have 3 former first-round picks. You have a alleged sexual predator. You have the old guy in Joe Flacco. You've got 2 rookies. Throw in Kenny Pickett for reasons. He's there.
I mean, can they be on Hard Knocks?
Oh, that would be incredible.
That would be awesome.
We got phone calls. We'll get to the Lions in the 9 o'clock hour. It's 97.1.